Hey everyone, happy Thursday. Let's get ready for school. Hey everyone, like I said, happy Thursday, happy Halloween for those who celebrate. Today, what are we doing? I'm not really doing much. I think I'm just like hanging out with my friends. I am dressed in costume, but you can't really tell. So we're just not gonna talk about that because I don't know. I just don't feel like talking about that. I'm just gonna hope I don't like freeze because my costume called for shorts. So I'm wearing shorts right now, but it's like finally fall weather, so I'm gonna be cold. So wish me luck, guys. But I hope you guys had a great Wednesday. My Wednesday was pretty good. Much better than the beginning of the week, honestly. And then like my so yeah, my Wednesday was good. I hope you guys had a great Wednesday, and I hope you guys have a great Thursday as well. So yeah, I think I'm gonna continue on with what I was talking about yesterday, which again, I really have a recollection of talking about it, but maybe I just talked about the Drake and Josh drama without actually giving the Drake and Janet like input on it, I guess. So I know that I was talking about how Janet reacted to the things, and I forgot to mention, I mentioned it in another Get Ready With Me, but because I was still talking about the Drake and Josh reboot, I'm going to mention it here, in this one. Josh also wanted the, reboot of Drake and Josh to be called Josh and Drake, so he wanted to be, like, first, he wanted his name, like, out there first, I guess, which doesn't sound good for the record, and it's not. I was about to say I have nothing against Josh Peck, but that's a lie. I have a lot of things against Josh Peck, but I'm not saying that the title doesn't work because I don't like Josh Peck, I think is what I'm trying to say. The title just does not work. Like, Josh and Drake does not roll off the tongue like Drake and Josh does. So, anyway, so him and Janet were talking, and I don't know how exactly they got into, like, this kind of way of talking about Josh. Well, because I know that they started talking about, like, well, Drake started mentioning how, like, you know, they had, like, different experiences, and it was nice to have Janet for, like, the first little bit, because she was kind of giving, like, a little bit of input from a third person's point of view, because, like, it's easier to see a situation for what it really is, when you're not wrapped in it. And that goes for many things, but in this case it was easier to see behind the real relationship with Drake and Josh because you weren't Drake or Josh. You weren't really entirely caught up. Well, I don't want to say you weren't entirely caught up in the crosshairs because I'm guessing, like, the wives probably were. At least Janet seemed to be kind of in the crosshairs because she seemed very angry. And I get that, because I think she was angry about multiple things. Like, not only just angry for her husband, but also angry because of, like, how, like, that reboot went, was pitched, and having, like, seen, like, I guess, like, you know, you go to something like that and you see, like, people's true characters. It's like, that's what Josh wanted. Josh wanted, so, like, he wanted that out in the world. And I guess that kind of shows character, because it's like, when you're writing, you write from, like, I don't know, like, you kind of, I don't know where I'm trying to go with this, because I know, like, when I'm writing, I don't write, like, what I believe, but it's, like, easier to write what you believe and what you want. It kind of shows, like, true character, you know what I mean? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I don't think that made any sense, but, like, yeah, he put out what he wanted, and it was not right. Let's just say that. But anyway, so as I was saying, like, Janet was mad. And I completely get that. Like, she was completely 100% in the right. She had every right to be mad. But I think she was trying to get Drake to see Josh from her point of view. And it was not working. And it wasn't really going, like, it didn't seem like it was a very productive conversation, which something like that has to be, because, like, it just has to be productive. There has to be a good use of time. So, like, it has to be a productive conversation, and that did not seem like that was productive at all. Like, because she was trying to say, like, Josh hates him or whatever, and I'm like, oh, that's not cute. Like, and the reason why I say that is because it's like, Janet obviously had to have known. And now, okay, well, I'm not gonna say obviously, but had to have known. Like, I'm not, like, I would assume she would have known Drake's story and what he had been through. And, yeah, so, like, Drake's story and what he had been through. And so, why would you be so, like, harsh about something? And this is not me saying that the information that Janet was saying wasn't true. It probably was. But her delivery of it was not cute. Because, like, okay, from what I can tell, and this is just me inferring, I'm not trying to say that this is the gospel truth, I'm just saying this is me using context clues and trying to infer things. Like, using information that we already have about Drake and Josh. Like, Drake absolutely loves Drake and Josh. Still loves it to this day. Loves when fans, like, talk about it. Love all that. Loves all that. Loves all the attention that Drake and Josh gets. Josh, however, does not. He has, I think, probably some resentful, like, feelings about Drake and Josh. And the reason why I'm saying, like, I think he has resentment towards Drake and Josh. And I think it manifests itself in an interesting way. Because I think it was talked about in a Grey's Anatomy episode that I do not remember which episode it was. But it was like I think it was with Callie and Callie in Arizona, where one of them was saying, like, she can't hate blah 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 blah, so she's gonna hate me. Because you have to put the blame or the hate on someone in the situation. In this case, there's only two people that Josh can hate. He can either hate Drake, or he can hate Dan. But Dan's pretty much the one who gave him the job. So, you think that he's gonna hate Dan? If he's the one that gave him the job? Not so much. So the only other person to hate is Drake. So, that's where I think that kind of resentment towards Drake and Josh and the kind of odd hatred comes from. Is a place of, like, you need to hate somebody. That's what he feels like. And in doing so, there's only two logical people you can hate. You can either hate Dan Schneider, or you can hate Drake Bell. And Dan Schneider is the one who gave you the job, so he's kind of out of the picture. And the only other feasible option is Drake Bell. But you can't blame Drake for your shortcomings and your like, pain or whatever you went through because of the show or whatever. Like, you can't blame that on Drake because Drake's not the one who wrote the show. But you're not gonna blame it on Dan because he's the one that gave you the job. So you see what I'm, like, talking about? Like, it doesn't logically make sense, but there's only a few options of people that you can hate, and, like, Drake is not the logical one, but it is the one that he feels, I guess, is logical because they both worked on the show. I don't know. That's the way that I kind of see it in my own brain, but I don't know. Do with that what you will. But, so, Janet's approach was very much to just be like, yeah, he hates you. And she said that. Like, she hates your gut. He hates your guts. He hates that you're alive. He hates all this. I'm like, okay, harsh much? It didn't even seem like the kind of, like, tough love kind of harsh. It just seemed harsh. Because, like, I get what she's trying to do. I don't know. Okay, maybe I don't. I don't actually get what she's trying to do. what I would have done is it felt like a very intimate conversation that needed to be had, because, like I said, Josh Peck seems very toxic, and I think that in order for you to heal yourself, you have to let go of toxic people, because you don't deserve them. You don't need those people in your life. But I think it's also very hard to let go of toxic people, especially if you were very close to them. And I think having a real conversation would have been nice. This just felt very much like Janet was trying to get Drake to feel something about Josh that he just didn't feel. Like he didn't harbor any ill will towards him, but Janet most definitely did. And the way that she went about it, like interrupting him, being very forceful, didn't feel like that was a productive conversation or a productive use of their time. Especially after you hear just how much love Drake has for Drake and Josh. The thing is especially after Quiet on Set, I feel like things get put into different perspectives after watching Quiet on Set. Because after you watch Quiet on Set, you kind of start to see you see what Drake had been through and then what he was carrying on into the next show. So when traumatic things happen to us, we don't just leave it behind. We carry it with us to the next place. So we kind of see, we see what he had gone through and then what he was carrying on into Drake and Josh. And he loved Drake and Josh. Drake and Josh was his escape. It was his safe haven. And you can't just let go of that very easily. And that's what I think Janet was trying to do, is he was trying to get him to talk bad about Josh or to let go of him or whatever. But it's not that simple of a process, unfortunately. And I think that was a real conversation that they needed to have was whatever was holding Josh back, or not Josh, holding Drake back, because you don't need people like that in your life, but I get that it is hard to let go of them, if that makes sense. And Janet's approach of saying that he hates you, all this stuff, was not a productive one, I don't think. At all. I do not think it was productive. And again, I think she was being I don't know. It's hard to describe without actually seeing it. She was just, again, like I said, definitely just wanted him to feel a certain way about Josh that, again, he didn't feel. He didn't harbor any ill will towards him. And, but she was he hates you, he hates your guts, he hates that you're alive, he hates your face, kind of stuff. And, it's just, that wasn't productive, I don't think. I don't know. And then all the interrupting didn't feel very productive either. I think that's what I'm trying to say, is Janet's approach did not feel very productive, but it was a real conversation that probably needed to be had between the two, or at least between Drake and a therapist. Because, the, attachment, I don't know. I don't want to, armchair diagnose or something here, or, you know what I mean. But it was also interesting, because the way she was kind of, being almost mockingly, because, Drake didn't want to read the reboot, he didn't want to talk about what they were talking about on the thing, and he didn't want to read the script out to the podcast viewers, which is real, I get that. But she was that is just so you. You're so nice. You're too nice, okay? That is just 100% so you. I'm okay. But, not in, a cutesy way. It was, in a more, mocking, condescendingly way. I'm okay. So, I was just a little confused about that. I don't know. The whole podcast kind of just rubbed me the wrong way. Sorry, I had to yawn off camera. Okay. But the section where you get to see the son, their son was really cute because he's a really cute baby. So that part was cute when you got to hear a little bit talking about the son at the very beginning. That was good. But the rest of it was just an odd approach to a real conversation that needed to be had. That's what I'm saying. The conversation, nothing wrong with that. That needed to be had. But the approach to the conversation probably could have been so much better. So hopefully that made sense. Because I don't know if that made any sense at all. But that's what I'm trying to say. Is like, the conversation needed to be had. But maybe in a more productive manner. This was not productive at all. So, since I'm almost done, I think I'm just gonna wrap up this conversation and then I'll talk more about Nonstop Flight tomorrow. Like, I mean, I basically wrapped it up. But yeah, so I don't know. Like, they never made another podcast or whatever. And yeah. And it was interesting because the podcast, like, episode, like, aired, like, around the same time as, like, Drake Bell went missing, like, a little bit, like, before or something like that, like, a little bit before. And then, like, obviously, you know, they weren't together anymore by that time, so, I don't know. It was interesting. But I wasn't a huge fan of Janet. Maybe it was just her voice that annoyed me. Because sometimes, like, when there's an annoying voice, like, I don't know, I just don't like it. Like, that was an annoying voice. I don't know if y'all have ever heard, like, Janet's voice. It's annoying. I feel bad. Like, that's mean to just be like, oh, she has an annoying voice. But it's like, she does. It's like, I don't know. It gives, like, Valley Girl. Like, you know, like that, oh my god, like, I'm, like, so much better than you. That's what it gives. So, when anyone has that kind of voice, it just makes you kind of want to, like, punch him in the throat. So, again, not condoning violence here. I'm just saying, like, I don't like when anyone sounds like that. Because I just don't. I do recall saying that, like, Janet's voice was like nails on a chalkboard. Which, again, makes me sound like I'm being mean. But, y'all, like, I just don't like that type of voice. But, I don't know. But, so yeah. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of, like, her approach. But maybe it was the kind of thing that he needed. I don't know. But to me, it didn't seem very productive. Because it still didn't feel like you were getting anywhere. That's the thing. It's like, I mean, you can plant the seed, I suppose. But if you're not getting anywhere, like, you're not going to end up with anything, I guess. I don't know where I was going with that. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, it just didn't feel like we were getting anywhere. Like, any progress that she wanted to with where Drake stood with Josh didn't seem like that was happening at all. And didn't seem like it was going to. So, I think that's what I'm trying to say. So, I don't know. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. Maybe they did go somewhere, but, like, it didn't, like, obviously it didn't work because Drake still holds such a intense love for Josh. But have we heard anything from Josh? No. So, yeah. Let's just hope that Drake has some very good friends now that are, and it seems like he does. It seems like he has some pretty good friends from what I've seen. From Instagram. Okay, first setting spray. Second setting spray. Okay, you already know I'm gonna do lashes and lips off camera. Okay, and this is the final look. I will see you guys in the next one. Hope you guys have a great day. Have a blessed day. Jesus loves you. I love you. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.